You all ready?
Yes, sir.
Right.
All right. Well, Chevis, I just wanted to start off with kind of some general information about you, your background, going back to, let's just start with your name.
Okay, my name is Chevis Corny.
Do you have a middle name?
I have a middle name. My middle name is Monquell. It's a sort of a name, not pretty much my favorite, so I just say Chevis Corny, you know?
All right.
Yeah.
And fair enough. And where are you from?
I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
And were you born here?
I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Southern Louisiana. Yes,
All right.
sir.
And when were you born?
I was born 19. We messed up.
No.
No, you gotta leave room, so he's not finished talking and you're already talking, so that's.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so we starting over.
No, we're good.
Mm-mm.
Pick up where we left off.
Okay. All right. I was born in 1986, January 14th. I'm 27 years old. And you know, I'm a Southern boy. I was down south raised, Baton Rouge all my life, you know. And I have a brother. I had one sister. She passed during the birth. I wasn't born then, but you know, I was told a story. And I have one older brother. His name is Michael, you know. And I come from a small family. I come from a small family, not too big, that I know of.
And do you remember which hospital you were born at?
Earl K. Long.
At Earl K. Long.
Yep.
All right. And where was your, where were you living growing up? Starting with, you know, the first location that you have a memory of all the way up to present.
Okay, I live real down south in southern Louisiana, which meaning in towards the downtown area, right off of Highland Road. It's a street called Myrtle. I grew up off of Myrtle Street in probably a 2-bedroom duplex, maybe, that I can remember. A 2-duplex, me and my brother. And it was my dad's grandmother's house. She passed, and her husband still was alive. His name was Papa Joe. Old Papa Joe, yep. And me, my mom, and my brother, we stayed with Papa Joe and took care of Papa Joe. And then Papa Joe got to a point where he had to go to the old folks' home. And, you know, and that left Mom and me and my brother the house then. That's far as I can remember. And then after that, we moved north. I'll say North Baton Rouge. That's towards, I'll say, Plank Road and all that. See, it's a difference between Highland Road, and they call that South Baton Rouge, and then up there, and then it's north and east and all that there. But I'll say north. We moved up to a street called Cadillac Street in Zion City. And that's where everything that I can basically remember took off right there.
And when did you move to Zion City? Do you remember?
I was around 5-6 years old when we moved to Zion City. So when we were staying on Myrtle, I would say that was probably from birthed up to around about 3 or 4 years old. And then Zion City off of Cadillac Street. That's where we moved at. And around there, now I can tell my own story. I'm gonna keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Now around there in Zion City, Cadillac Street, you know, hey, you see a lot of things as at 5-6 years old. I'm telling you, I'm 5-6 years old, and you seeing a whole lot. And when I'm meaning by seeing a whole lot, it's meaning you seeing things that you really don't supposed to see at this age, like selling drugs, using drugs, you know, things like that there at an early age, 5 years old. You seeing this going on, and partake of this here, mind you, we just moved to Zion City off of Cadillac Street. Meet Mama, and this was a separation point between my mom and my dad too. I left that part out. So Mom and dad basically went they separate ways, and this was due to drug addictions too. Right? All right, this gonna play this the beginning of this here, and this gonna smooth itself out. But they depart and go they separate ways. They had drug addictions. You know what I'm saying? They both used drug of choice was cocaine. You know, cocaine was the drug of choice. I guess whatever, you know, and like 5, 6 years old, that's when I caught on to what they was doing. You know, like me and my brother be like, 1 minute, you know, they sitting in, they'll come around and you seeing them as regular mama and daddy. Then the next minute you might see them looking all crazy and you like, what the, you know what I'm saying? What's wrong with them, man? Me and Ron, you know, I call my brother Ron. You know, me and Mike, we sit and we look at each other like, man, what's going on with them? You know what I'm saying? So once we caught on to what was going on, we still lived and accepted because they still played their parts as parents, what I would say as providing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we still eating and lights still on. We ain't on side the road, none of that there, but we still seeing what's going on, right? So that leaves the point where you still living a normal life, so you got to go to school, right? You got to go to school. So you going to school and you see everybody coming to school, you know, they got their nice clothes on, they, you know, they sharp. You want to be sharp too. You know, you wondering why you can't be sharp, but you know why you can't be sharp. You know, mama got a problem, you know what I'm saying, and she doing the best that she could. It just was an accepting point, you know. So that's when I really, you know, started to realize what was going on around about 5, 6 years old. I'm like, yeah, man, something got to give, you know. So as time went on, I say, I'm going to skip you like 5 years, I'll say. No, I would say around about 6 years. About 11, 12 years old, you know what I'm saying? That it was on from there. The man of the house I chose to be for my family. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I learned about the drug trade. You know, I just gave in one day. I see what's going on. We looking up to the ballers around the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? We see they got a big old wad of money. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, you might be riding with your mama. She might be scoring from them. You dig what I'm saying? And you running around playing football. You see he might throw a couple passes with you. You know what I'm saying? You wonder, man, what was that little thing that you had gave my mama, man? And bow, there it is. It changed your whole life. You know what I'm saying? You come, you know, at that time there, I that's when I learned about drugs. You know what I'm saying? I learned about how to hustle, what you would say, hustle drugs. You know what I'm saying? I already seen what it won't do, and then it sounds stupid because it's like, you seen what it did your mom and your daddy. Why would you want to, you know what I'm saying, to come to that depth? But being forced at that young age for to be a man, you can't go get no job. Where you going to go work at 11, 12 years old? You know what I'm saying? So you see a way to make money. And this is the way to make money. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to sell this drug right here, drug of choice, cocaine. Change your whole life. Literally. You know what I'm saying? They say some people more addicted to the money than the addict addicted to the drug. You know what I'm saying? So 12 years old, that's when I learned about the drug trade. You know, I started making money. I started being a man of the house, you know, making things better. You know, I was the rock of the family and still is to this day. You know what I'm saying? I learned about the trade and I manipulated it. You know, I went straight. I mean, I went from being 12 years old, from not having no money, to around about 12 years old was my first couple $1,000s. You know what I'm saying? Something like that there. You know, and as I progressed it in that life, I'm still trying to live and be a normal little guy too, which meaning I'm still in school too. So I'm going to school now from being the little guy wishing that I wish I could have them Jordans right there. I wish I can have this. So I'm going to school now. I got $1,500, $2,500 in my pocket, and I'm feeling like I'm King Tut. Basically, not even really paying attention with school. You know, I'm just there to show off. of what I got, what I had. You know, now I'm the man, you know, basically. You know, do a little work or whatever, whatnot, but that wasn't a main focus. And then after that, I got into high school. I still managed to make it to high school. Around high school time, I say this when things had got a little more bigger in the drug trade. You know what I'm saying, with me. And I learned from learning about one single rock to learning about a gram and ounce and the kilos and, you know what I'm saying, all this and that there around high school time. So being focused upon all this here, I'm like, I'm not worrying about no school, really. You know, that's not my main focus. Like I'm saying, if anything, I'm here just showing off, you know. So I had got expelled from school from being late all the time, from tardy. Cause mind you, I don't have no guidance telling me to get up and go to school or nothing like that there. I'm doing all this up on my own, you know. I'm doing this here up on my own because I'm still in the streets. I'm hustling. You know what I'm saying? Making sure the bills paid at home too. Mama ain't really, she know what you're doing, but she ain't, I guess she wasn't really worried about it at the time, you know. She probably worried about it, but I feel like at the time and point, it probably wouldn't have been nothing she could have done to stop me from doing what I wanted to do at that time, you know. Because I'm feeling like, you know, if I don't hold however it happened with them, and hopefully we can get down to the bottom of that once we get them on the camera, you know what I'm saying? But if they would have stood their position, and I feel like I wouldn't have been having to been forced, you did, for to go out and do the things that I did. And we off.
I wanted you said you moved when you were 5 years old from what was your great-grandparents' house?
Right.
Why did you move?
At the time, my mom and my dad, they was drugging. And, you know, things was crazy around the house. So they decided to go their separate ways at this time. So that's the reason why they left the house. And that's when we moved on Cadillac Street in Zion City. And like I told you, that's where everything basically took off.
What happened to the house on Highland?
Basically it got tore down. You know, basically the house just set up and it got tore down. I guess they didn't own the house basically. The house got tore down, but the street still exists. I still pass through there every now and again when I go and visit, you know, but the house got tore down, that house there. Yeah.
And your dad didn't move with you?
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Where did he go?
He stayed in the same area because my grandmother, his mom, stayed maybe a block or two away, right up the road. Right off of Highland 2 off of Benton Street. She stayed right up the road or whatnot. So he stayed and moved in with his mom. And me and my mom and my brother, we went our separate way to the apartment or whatnot. Right.
How often did you see your father after you moved to Zion City?
I seen them quite often. They kept it like, well, me and my brother, we'll go and spend a summer with him. He still provided for this. I can remember as with shoes and clothes, school. I mean, you know, when he could, you know. But like I say, man, when you going to school and it's messed up, and I guess that's why they came out with this uniform thing. You know, because that can mess you up, man. You know, if your parents just literally can't afford it, really. You know, and some people come to school, you know, and they want this stuff. They want the name brand stuff, and so your parents can't afford it, you know. And hey, then like you'll feel like I did at the time, and that's what hopefully we can change people's minds about that conception. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't really need that these days. It's not really about that, but you want that polo back then. You want the Michael Jordans too. So I mean that kind of hypnotized you too as a young boy.
You had mentioned that you were seeing a lot of things at a young age that you normally that you shouldn't have been seeing. Do you have a specific memory that really stood out to you, where you saw something and it really had an impact on you? That it was really,
man. Yes, I did. Now this one here, like when I told you that you will see your parents one way and then they come out looking crazy the next way. All right, well this would really hit me, that I knew it was real. One summer, me and my brother, we were spending the summer with my dad. I mean, and while we was in the room playing, we had a couple of friends in the room playing, so I got thirsty. I'm go run to the kitchen to get me some water. As I run to the kitchen, I literally see my daddy hitting the rock on the can. And he hitting the can instead of trying to like wave, telling me to go ahead. You know what I'm saying? I just stood there and looked like, damn. You know what I'm saying? That's what they be doing and coming back looking all crazy and shit. Excuse my French. They come, you know what I'm saying, looking all crazy. I've talked it over with my brother, you know what I'm saying? And believe it or not, our friends, parents doing the same thing. So everybody know what it's like. Yeah, man, they be in there smoking that stuff, man. Yeah, man, that's what they be doing. And we talking amongst each other. We probably around, like I told you, about 6, 7 years old, talking amongst each other like grown people. You know what I'm saying? But I always knew what they did. I just never seen them do it. But I literally walked in on them, seen them doing it. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't really have an effect on me because I already knew what they was doing. I just never seen it. You know what I'm saying? You asked me about a memory that stood out. I think on that level there, that's what really had stood out to me the most. You know what I'm saying? Yup.
What about Michael? What was happening with Michael during this period when
Me.
you were growing up? Was he involved in the same things you were? Was his path the same as yours? Did he take a different path?
Pretty much. Michael was more of he kind of still hung around mama. Mama was gonna take care of him. I'm like I wanted things. I wanted things. Michael didn't have the same strive that I had. Michael wasn't really smart enough to be up in the streets, because if he was in the streets with the type of attitude that he had when all this here was going on, I might have been talking about somebody else then got X'd out, But Michael, he was more up into drugs too, but more of probably using, like smoking weed, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. There, Michael never really had no strive into his grown up years. Mainly, he just basically sat around. And that was the difference between me and Michael. That's why people look at us today and be like, man, I thought you was the big brother. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's because I really was the little big brother, And maybe when we get Michael around, he can basically tell you. I'm pretty sure he'll be open enough, hopefully, to express. Because me and Michael, we barely seen each other, And when we did, it was all love, Because I wasn't really staying with my mom. I mean, at 16, 16, 17, I had my first child. I'm in my own apartment. I'm living like I'm 50, damn near. I got a baby and a girl, paying my own bills and still looking out for mama. You see what I'm saying? So it's like the stuff I was doing, Michael, you couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think at the time he wouldn't have made it through all that, But
What do you mean he wouldn't have made it through all that?
I mean, meaning in the streets. Like, I never even went on with telling you the rest of the story on everything, you know. Like, with being in the streets, you got to have a certain mind frame to survive the streets. Meaning, you got to be smart. You know, you got to know that every person that you making money off of or making money with, they really don't love you. They really don't like you. You know what I'm saying? It's all business. You know what I'm saying? It's all business. And meaning, if I was, you know, well, God was with me through it all, you know, I wouldn't say that I was smart enough to outthank somebody, but I knew kind of consents of how to deal with people in the streets. You know, I see things. I see people get robbed. You know what I'm saying? I know that's real. Somebody come in and try to take what you got. You know, I done seen, you know what I'm saying, people get hurt, meaning people get beat up. You know what I'm saying? Behind owing somebody some money. You know what I'm saying? So I got capitalization off of this all the way. I already know if you owe somebody some money, pay them or it's going to turn out bad. You know what I'm saying? Keep people out your business, because if they see what you're doing and they think you do, they going to try to take what you got. You know, I just paid attention to detail. You know, I stayed quiet. I ain't talk much. I'm watching. I'm observing, you know, because I always knew that it was something to it. That just with anything in life, it's something to it. You just got to figure it out, you know. So I was paying attention to detail to everything that I done, you know. From 5-6 years old, I was paying attention to detail. I've seen the difference, you know what I'm saying? And to the point where that was my key to overcoming things. Paying attention to it, you can overcome it. You know how to deal with it, you know. Learn it. You know, master it. You can learn how to deal with it. And that's basically what I did to survive as a young man, long as I can remember. Right. And
was
that
it
was
just
fun.
was it just for being tardy?
Just for tardy. Just for being, because it's a certain thing called TOR. Okay, when you come to school, you got to go to TOR. I mean, when I was in 9th grade, I probably was making around about $10,000-$15,000. I'm literally saying this because I raised my right hand to God that I'm not lying. You know what I'm saying? I'm literally making this type of money, and I'm just making it to high school. You know what I'm saying? So you telling me, you got to go to TOR, you get suspended for 2 days. But just give me my 2 days. That give me more time to hustle. You know, that's how I'm feeling. Give me the 2 days. Mama ain't gonna say nothing. Who I got the answer to? I'm answering to myself. You know, I go back to the spot and hustle. You know, and once you get so many of them, they gotta recommend you for exposure. You know, you can't get so many suspensions without getting recommended. So it was a hearing for me and my mom to go to. I wasn't going to the hearing. This point blank, I wasn't going to the hearing. I mean, you know, I was probably a little arrogant at the time, you know, but I just was like, what's the use, you know? I just gave up then, and I never went back to school from there. Never been back, never looked back, you know? And that's how I got expelled. It wasn't due to, you know, I wasn't a trouble kid around school or nothing like that. I was more, you know, I paid attention. I did what I had to do. You know, I was more, like I said, I felt so grown, but I wasn't. You know, who it was for me, a little 15, 16-year-old kid, you know what I'm saying, for to be telling the principal, you could just go ahead and suspend me. I'm going to take my days. You know, I look back at that now and was like, man, that was crazy. You know, but at the time, that's what it was. Yep.
How did your mother react to you leaving high school?
It wasn't a reaction. I didn't even see a reaction, period. It just was, you know, more, you know, I guess because I had my own thing going on with my money and stuff like that there. It probably didn't really have an effect on it because I didn't see it. It wasn't like, you know, you know, she said her piece on, son, you shouldn't have done this and done that. But, you know, I didn't want to hear that. I'm not even staying with you. I got my own apartment. I'm helping you with bills. You know? So how you gonna tell me about getting suspended from school? I mean expelled from school. I'm helping you out. So it wasn't a certain thing. You know, like to this day, man, my mama got like a brother sister relationship more than a mama son relationship. You know. And that was her reaction. And my dad, you know what I'm saying? It didn't make him no difference. I don't feel. I'm not saying that he don't love me or nothing like that there, because I know he do. But it ain't make a difference to him about no school or nothing like that there. I'm pretty sure it didn't. Yeah.
And schools, how far did he get in school? What was his story in school?
I don't think Michael made it just as far as I made it. Michael pretty much gave up on school himself. You know, I mean, when you ain't got nobody really, I guess there for the, go to school. You know, that's why I'm so hard up on my churn now with school and stuff. You know, go to school. If you ain't got nobody to tell you to go, you ain't going. You know, especially if they caught up into whatever, doing things, because cocaine powerful. My mama off of it now, you know what I'm saying, thanks to the good Lord. My pops, he still on it to this day. You know what I'm saying? But when you ain't got nobody for to tell you, for to go to school, to enforce, have that leverage for that, they encourage you to go, then you ain't going. And that just was that was the thing. I'm pretty sure Mike will probably tell you the same thing. He just pretty much gave up on it too. The effect is the same one I told you. Because he pretty much staying there with mama. You know what I'm saying? So if he stays, benefiting him, benefiting him too. So it's the same thing. No effect. Get some more water in a minute.
So I'm going to deviate just for a second, because I just had a thought, but where was the money coming from to support the drug habit of your mother and your father? Where were they getting the money to buy the cocaine?
Well, they had legitimate jobs. My dad worked it for the city on a garbage truck. DPW, I think. He worked it on the garbage truck. He made pretty good, decent money. To supply their habit, Other than that, government assistance, food stamps. Back then, food stamps was the paper. It was made like money. Food stamps, it was like a paper dollar. And I guess that played a part in it too, because I'm pretty sure once Pops stuff going, then it come to a point where if you don't got no money, then TV leaving out the front room. Or the TV leaving out one of their room, pun and stuff. I mean, cocaine is a monster. You gonna do what you gotta do for to support your habit. So I really don't, I'm just throwing that out there because I really don't know where the money was coming from to support their habit, but the habit got supported however, and I seen it. I literally seen it, me and my brother, this, and it's nothing that I'm ashamed of because I'm glad I seen it. That's what make me who I am today, and I think if I wasn't able to handle it, and if it wasn't a reason for me seeing it, we wouldn't be right where we at today for to say something about it, But yeah.
Was your mother working to support the habit as well?
Mom, as far as I can remember, when I was little, like 5, 6 years old, because that's when mom was using. She stopped using around when I made like 7, 8, once. But I couldn't remember. My mom wasn't working then. She wasn't working. Pops was doing everything. Doing like it was supposed to be a legitimate family, I guess, Maybe if the drugs wasn't part of it, everything would have been all right. But you know what I'm saying? When you growing up in the house, you know, where that's a habit like that, then it's crazy, you know.
Did your mom have a job that you remember?
Yeah, she's working now, and matter of fact, she got 2 jobs now, and mom kicked the habit. Like I say, around about 19 years old, mom had to kick her habit, you know what I'm saying, and she had started living or whatnot. But still then, she had already developed the attitude that boys gonna be boys, you know, so we still was little bad butts, you know, we went to school and stuff, and then by her being by herself, you know, she still wasn't able to provide for us like we wanted to, like with the, like I said, the polo, stuff like that there, you know, but she did the best she could by keeping food on the table. She not using drugs no more. She smoke a little cigarettes, might have her a cold beer, you know. She been off of drugs now for a long, long time. You know what I'm saying? And I applaud her for it. You know, I pray for it every night. Really for both of them. But I see God had some more planner for my mom. You know, I guess he, you know, than my dad. But the whole situation with her working and stuff and not being able to provide was another reason, you know, of me feeling like I had to do something, you know. Like, man, I got to help moms out, you know. She working, she doing all what she could, you know. You know, I'm not the type to add on to the problem. I always say I don't want to be nobody else's burden. You know what I'm saying? So, I know you can't afford these shoes, mama, so why I'm going to come here and ask you for them? You know what I'm saying? I know you doing the best you can, you know what I'm saying? You don't got to tell me this here. Like, I pay attention to detail. You know what I'm saying? So I got an understanding already of what's going on, and she doing the best she can and all this and that, you know. So I decided to do something about it, you know, with the streets thing. Right.
What